Do you have back pain from degenerated discs? Do you have some creaky knees? They're just not the same. Maybe your meniscus is gone. You have pain there all the time. Would you like to learn some tools and techniques so that you can regenerate those discs or those knees and much more? Are you open to infinite possibilities to rejuvenate and regenerate your body? If so, today's show is for you. My guest will discuss his journey to becoming the creator of a healing modality known as regeneration healing. He will also share with you tools and techniques that you can use for yourself to rejuvenate and heal your body and many other areas of your life and beyond. So get your pen and pad ready. You're going to want to take a lot of notes. For this one, buckle up. We're getting ready to take a venture in the quantum journey and beyond. Buckle up. Really buckle up. I wouldn't want you to go flying off to another dimension. Or just maybe, that's exactly what you need. This is the People and Pets Show. Welcome. Good morning and welcome to the People and Pets Show. I'm so grateful and honored to have as our guest this morning, Ken Graydon. Ken, how are you doing this morning? Or your evening, excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah, well, I'm happy to say good morning, even though it's a cold winter night here in Perth.
Yeah, he's in Perth. Okay, yes. He's in Australia, so there's a 12-hour time difference from Central Standard Time in the U.S., so it's late in the evening. So I really appreciate you being here today, Ken. And also, I'd like to thank everyone that's here right now live on the broadcast or on the replay. There are so many things you could be doing with your time right now as we speak, and I'm so grateful that you've chosen to spend some of it with us today. As I said at the beginning, you're going to want to take notes. There's going to be a lot of valuable information. One of the many things I love about regeneration healing is Ken wants you to learn this stuff for yourself. Okay, so something you can do for yourself. Please type in your comments in the chat box. Let us know where you're seeing this program today. And also, as we go on during the show, please write in your questions for Ken, because I'm sure you're going to say, can he help me with X, or can regeneration healing, help me with my elbow that was blown out 40 years ago? We'll find out. So please post your questions. Also, please make sure you hit the like button. You're seeing this live. Show us some love. Show Ken some love. Also, if you're seeing this on YouTube later, please hit the like button and subscribe. I will be posting these to the YouTube channel very soon. So just give me one sec. All right. So I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Mark Hernandez. I am the owner and founder of People and Pets Energetics. I'm a holistic practitioner that helps people, animals, and their spaces when they've hit the wall with health and well-being issues. For people, I help a lot of them when they're in some level of pain, physical, mental, spiritual, some level of pain. Usually people have already done a lot of things to help themselves, and maybe it helped for a long time, and for whatever reason it stopped working. If they're seeing me, their level of pain is usually 8 or higher on a 10-point scale. Okay, so often what gets them in the door is some type of physical pain. Often I'm able to help them, sometimes immediately, sometimes it takes a little time. And then also I help them in the areas of health and wellness, work, career, relationships. Those could be your intimate relationships, your work relationships, your relationship with your son, daughter, whatever that may be, and also future career. Okay, for your pets, the other piece, big piece, I help them a lot when there's a change in behavior. You've trained your dog where to go to the bathroom, and they start going all over the house. As always, be it with a person or animal, my first question will be, if you're a person, have you seen your medical professionals? If you're a pet, have you taken your pet to the vet? With that peeing, pooing, we want to make sure there's no infection, anything going on veterinarily. Often you'll take your pet to the vet. They'll say, looks pretty good. We couldn't find any infection. After you've done your due diligence, I'll look at the energy field, the subtle energy field, and see what's out of balance and alignment, release those misalignments, and let the changes show up. As I said, sometimes immediately, in other instances over time. I think the work I do and Ken does is also he works multidimensionally. That's very important because sometimes our stuff does originate in this timeline. And as the quantum physicist said many years ago, also we have parallel lives going on, past lives and future lives that can impact our present lifetime. So I always check those. So with that being said, let's go to our guest today, Ken Graydon. Ken has been involved in healing since age 16. As his parents were spiritualists, healing was a part of his everyday life. So this has been an integral part of his life pretty much from the get-go. Over 60 years, he's been involved with different institutions in healing modalities, including being a priest in the Old Catholic Church in Australia, becoming a certified master matrix energetics practitioner, levels 1, 2, and 3. Those that not know Dr. Richard Bartlett out of the Seattle area, it's really cool stuff. And studying organ regeneration. I believe a lot of this came from Russia and maybe Grigory Grabovoy and others. He later combined all these experiences, his lifetime experiences and trainings to create regeneration healing, which we will talk about in our conversation today. He is the author of 2 books. I happen to have them right here. The first one, which is kind of dog-eared now, Healing the Handbook. You know, every time I look at this, it's almost like I'm reading a new book. And that's about me. It is so rich. It's very well explained, but so rich that I'm always learning something new. That's always a good sign of a classic. And his newer book, Healing the Unlimited Path. Okay. These are available in the US through, you know, some of your favorite bookstores. So with that being said, Ken, welcome to the People and Pet Show.
Fine. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here and to meet new people and see if I can get more of them to talk with an Australian accent.
Okay. Well, you know, I've always, all my life, I've tried to get people to talk Texan. You know, I lived in the East Coast. I used the y'all. And at first people made fun of me, but then they came around, you know, so I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic.
So you're winning them over. Right.
Little by little, you know, it's a process, you know. So before I go to our conversation, let me see who's in the house today. Let's give some shout outs. So let me, 15 comments. Let's see, 12 viewers. Okay, let me show the, okay, let me scroll down. Okay, let me start. Okay. Ooh. Okay, Cindy says, good morning. Thank you, Cindy. Jake, good morning. Judy, love Mr. Ken's work. Thank you so much. Let's share that one. Let's see. Can you see the comment? Okay. Yep. All right. Okay, good. Tara, good morning. Okay. Cindy has already shared. Thank you, Cindy. Candy, good morning. Samantha also says good morning. Okay, Cindy is seeing from the show from Missouri. Okay, I know how to say Missouri down here in the Midwest, in Chicago. Okay, Samantha. Okay, let's see. Good morning. Eva says, good morning, guys. Cindy also says, that's so cool. We have Cindy Okrosh from Austin. I know Cindy. Thank you, Cindy, for being here. Welcome, Ken. Okay, yeah. So again, as we go on through the shows, please write in your questions and comments. So Ken, I gave a brief introduction about your background. Tell us a little bit more, some of the other areas, how you became the main creator of regeneration healing and so much more. What were some of the key moments? Yeah.
Can I just say to Judy, thank you, Judy. Love the work that you do with Facebook for us.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Now, so what I started at 16 being involved with healing. I was at a boys' club. I was a leader there. One of the boys jumped off the roof and caught his shin on the edge of a metal bucket.
Yeah.
And so he got taken off to the local hospital and brought back later. And this was in 1956. Ooh. So the treatment was pretty poor, and he was in a lot of pain when he came back. And the boys all slept in a bunkhouse. So I was standing by this boy's bunk. He was making a lot of noise, crying. And I just prayed, God, please take the pain away.
Sure.
And instantly, he stopped. In fact, the boys thought I'd knocked him out. It was such a dramatic going from this sort of wailing noise to absolutely nothing. And he slept through the night. And so that was the start of it. Because you know what it's like when your parents talk about stuff that can't be real. But when you have an experience, it changes your life. And so from then on, I was pretty much on the way to find, where can I do this? Where can I learn about this? And so I went to various churches who generally, although they talk about healing quite a bit, they think that God really meant go to the doctor. And then I later, several years later, found the old Catholic Church in Australia, which is more of a Orthodox church. It's not the Roman Church.
Yes.
And they were very open to healing, and the bulk of the time, and I spent 20 years with them, was spent in teaching and healing.
Mm-hmm.
Then, having retired from that, I found matrix energetics, and came to the States 3 times to do seminars and the Practitioner program. And it was just amazing because it taught you to believe unbelievable things.
Mm-hmm.
It just opened your mind to a whole range of possibilities, and always be grateful for it. I did find the seminars in those times were 400 to 500 people. The first one in Seattle was just amazing. I don't think I'd seen that many people, in a church situation or a retreat situation at all. And every time the excitement was so great. Every time you touched someone, they fell to the ground.
Oh yeah.
And then I go back home and I found that the average Australian is not that interested in being thrown to the ground as part of a healing.
Yes.
So you start to wonder, now, what do I do with this? I've got all this stuff and I'm excited. And so I found I had to try and I moderated it to make it so it wasn't quite as extreme. I mean, I didn't have Superman come with X-ray vision to help me out.
Kind of like Bartlett when he come at me, I treated it like that, right? I remember that. I remember that well.
And so I think there's got to be more to it. And then I heard about the Russians, and a guy called Arkady Petrov had, they said, he had a client who'd had a hysterectomy, and he worked with her, and she regrew a womb and had another child.
Whoa.
And I had found that sort of attracts your undivided attention. And so I thought, I want that to my clients, or at least for the female ones, to have that possibility. And so I did some seminars on what they're doing, and it was a bit sad that the material had gone from Russian to German to English without the different cultures being taken into account. And so it made it challenging, so I say. And so I thought, there's got to be an easier way. And so I adapted some of the matrix principles, some of the things that they were teaching, things out of my church background, to Australianize this, and healing the handbook, as you know, is pretty simple. It's a simple concept. What we're saying to people now is we'll go back, in effect, to 1 hour before whatever triggered your problem.
1 hour.
And we'll make a different choice. And so instead of choosing a path that leads to pain or stress, we're going to choose the amazing path of your spiritual purpose. And that once you accept that idea, that's your shining moment. You've gone from being a victim to being the creator. You're creating your own circumstances. And that's what it's about. And we use that we've had people, my wife, in fact, regenerated a gallbladder.
Mhm.
Not long after I'd learned about this stuff, that she'd had her gallbladder out some time. And then it was about, I guess, 4 years ago, where our GP insists every year we have a series of blood tests. And it was going through Anne's results with her, and said, your gallbladder is working at 90%.
Mhm.
And Anne said, excuse me, I don't have a gallbladder. And he just said, it's working at 90%. So it was a great confirmation. And I worked through and do most of my work remotely. I would have more clients in America than I have in Australia.
Mhm.
And it works equally well. In fact, possibly works a bit better, because when you're working remotely, there's less sort of showing off and theatre. You just can sort of get down to the basics of healing.
Yes.
And so I don't let me just rattle on.
No,
Please be part of the conversation.
no, but I'm listening because I think I was intently listening, and I was very struck what you said about also the cultural adaptations. Went from Russia to probably the U.S. without taking into context. Now that's interesting because my background is in Hispanic studies, my first one, and I was always very interested in the cultural context.
Right.
And on the other hand, we talk about how energy is energy in a universal language. So could you talk a little bit about that, the reconciliation of, like you said, cultural adaptations versus, energy is universal, the language of energy is universal?
Yeah. What I try to do is, when people get hold of Healing the Handbook, I say in the book, as you were saying, make it your own. If we use the word, or I use the word creator as a name for the infinite source of healing.
Yes.
If that name doesn't work for you, use the name that does. What I'm offering you is a principle, a guideline, and how you put it into play should be your way. So when you're doing it, it's the Mark method. When Judy, who was kind to me just now, it's the Judy method, and that's we want you to make it your own, because you can't patent something that the creator just makes available to everybody, and the only limitations are people's free will. We don't do healing to people; we just make it available.
Yes.
And so we have some processes in the book that take people back either through 7 generations of their family to cut out negative things, so that if in your family everyone has diabetes by the time they're 30, we go back 7 generations and we stop that there. So not only does that solve that problem for you, it means your children don't get it.
Yeah.
It stops with you.
Yep.
So we do that. We have another process where we connect people up with their equivalent in another dimension. Now, this has worked well with cancer. With a couple of ladies I worked with, we've actually got them to meet up with the equivalent of them in another dimension where cancer is not an issue.
Yes.
And do a swap. So you give your cancer to that person, they give you their wellness. And it's a physical effect. You actually can feel a sort of quiver goes through your body when you make the exchange.
Yes.
It's been quite amazing.
Yeah. Let me check the chat box. See, I'm sure there are more comments. I see more comments have come in. Let's see. See if there are any questions. A lot of comments that they're loving this. Let's say shared, fascinating. Let's see. Yes. So Cindy Aldridge. Wow, going back, that is fascinating. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Let's see. I know there's more. Hold on. Let me scroll up. Okay. Again, if you have any questions for Ken, please write them in. Yeah, and I think that's very interesting. I want to go back to a point you were saying, talking about the importance of kind of customizing the regeneration healing protocols individualize them. And that's kind of what I see even the other modalities I do in my work. I always tell people, two people will have right shoulder pain for completely different reasons. So my work is always customizable too. And I think that's one of the beauties of, these energy healing modalities, energy medicine tools,
that's right.
tools, is it'll always be for that person. And I think that's very powerful.
Yeah. I mean, we go back, and people, when I tell people about this, they say, "Yeah, but I don't know what the cause was."
Yes.
And we explain, but you're sold up.
Okay, something happened. We lost Ken. So Ken, can you call back in? I don't think I hit a button. Okay. Okay, we're gonna wait a second. So again, I'm gonna go back to the chat box. I hope Ken can call back in. I don't know what happened. All right, let's see. Okay, let's see. Let's see who else is here today. We have Christy Warnick. Again, let me scroll back up. Okay, hi, thank you for being here, Christy. Okay, let's see. Let me contact Ken on Facebook. It's part of the experience of the live streaming is these things can happen. So let me give me a second to see if I can reach Ken over Facebook. Okay, he's back. Great. Okay, let me. Okay, great. You're back. I'm not sure what happened. I'm grateful that you were able to come back.
Yes.
Okay. So anyway, yeah. So okay, Pat McDonald had a question about book titles. So I know Ken can answer that. Here's one: Healing the Handbook. Healing the Handbook.
Yep.
And the other one is Healing the Unlimited Path. Okay. And if you enter in your favorite search engine, just Ken Graydon, you'll pull those up pretty easily. Okay.
Yeah, and if you're going to make a choice between them, buy the handbook. The handbook has got all the process in it. With the handbook, you can become a healer. You can become a teacher. The second book, the Unlimited Path, is more stories about healing.
Okay.
So that's a good follow-up book, but the handbook is the important one, and the handbook will never be an ebook because the physical presence of the book is so important. And I don't know whether you've tried, Mark, but you hold the book against your heart, and you just speak out, "I'm ready to accept all the healing this book holds for me now.
I'm ready to accept all the healing that this book holds for me now."
Yeah.
I kind of feel it like going in my heart.
And just notice what happens.
I also noticing that I feel calmer, more peaceful for me.
Right.
Yeah.
But the other thing you can do with it is use a post-it note or a sticky note, and you write someone's name on the front and put it over the picture of the sun on the cover, and just leave it, and they will be getting healing that they will actually feel. That's right. Just open it.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know if this was an Edgar Casey technique. Sometimes I put it under my pillow and just sleep on it.
Well, you should do that when you first buy it. The first two nights, it should go under your pillow.
Okay. Yeah. And I also remember when I think this came out in 2014, 2015, the original edition. I'm trying to remember.
14, yeah.
14. I remember that time too that Purple Ray was coming out of the book.
That's right.
Yeah.
It still is. And not long after the book was released, I have the book in my hands every day, as you'd expect.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And people started sending me emails, "What is this blue light?" And I hadn't seen the blue light at all until I opened my book, and then I could. And then we had a channeling meeting, and Saint Germain turned up and said that violet light between the pages just is showing us that he has infused the words of the book with healing.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah.
let me check again the comment box, see if there's any specific question. Okay. We have a comment from Cindy. There's so much, it will take a minute to sort out. So many questions. So Ken, are you saying that this can be done remotely? What kind of preparations need to be done by the recipient? In other words, what kind of knowledge is required? And does the seriousness of the illness, late stage breast cancer, matter? Great question.
Okay, let's start from the end. No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter how serious it is. I've got a couple of stories about that I'll tell in a moment. But the only preparation really is sort of getting in touch and sorting out a time when you and I can both be reading a process aloud, and I'll prepare a process for you, and you, as I say, you and I'll read aloud at the same time. So it'll be done in your time zone, and I'll fit in with you. And then we do that, and we expect the best possible outcome. So the only limitation on it is your free will. Mm-hmm. If we don't do healing to people, we make it available. Mm-hmm. So for Cindy, if she gets in touch, I'll give you the email address and website at the end of our conversation. I'd be glad to help. And can I tell you a couple of stories about healings?
Absolutely, please do. Yeah, absolutely.
We were talking about regenerating things, and I've had two separate ladies, one in New York State, and the other lady was in Norway, who had this, not both at the same time, who had their ovaries removed surgically, and then wanted them to come back. And in both cases, we did one process, and they found that their period started again. Whoa. So that it was back. It was just amazing. And I don't know whether they went on to have children. I didn't get to hear that part of the story, but they got their ovaries were returned, which was our intention with the healing. And I had a lady from Turkey get in touch with me. Her father-in-law was in hospital, and they said probably with 5 days to live. So we did a process for him, and 2 days later he walked out of the hospital.
Whoa. Wow. Whoa, yeah, that's definitely jumping into the field of infinite possibilities where everything's possible.
Yeah, that's right. As we always say, the only limitations are ones you accept.
Yes.
So if you come with, and I'm sure that your people find the same thing. If they are open to healing, they get healing with you, and if they're not, they don't. And it's really easy to say this and difficult for people to make that choice. But that's what we need. Some people with open hearts, open minds, and we can help them change their life. The first big deal we had, a lady who lives in one of the northern states of America, I'm not sure which one, who had a breast lumpectomy. They took a piece of her breast out. We did a process for that, and she got the shape of her breast went back to normal.
Wow.
And she actually sent us some very tasteful photographs of that development, and it happened really quickly. And a lady in Sydney, in Australia, who had 9 miscarriages, got in touch with us. We did a process about that, and didn't hear anything for 12 months. And then she got it back in touch and said she didn't want to say anything too early because she'd lost children at different stages of the process. But her new son was 3 months old. And we live for that kind of story.
Oh, yeah.
And that kind of experience.
Yeah, I mean, also, are people using regeneration healing? Like, one of the hot topics of many is stem cells right now. Are people using regeneration healing tools to to bring back stem cells to regenerate their body?
Not bring back so much. We do regeneration of the spine, and as part of that process, we'll talk about re-energizing stem cells and doing that, and in the sort of the ad hoc things that when I'm doing a process for a specific person rather than just something out of the book, we've used stem cells in that. So yeah, and it's sort of a growing part of it, and and genomes and changing your DNA, all things that virtually anyone can do with their voice. The scientists are just starting to discover this, that you can make those changes. We just help you with processes to make it comfortable, make it possible, and share the story with you.
Yeah, these are all very, very powerful processes. One, because these are also much more affordable things to get stem cells than the conventional treatments.
Absolutely.
So and they're effective in helping a lot of people. Let me go back to the comment box, and then I know you want to lead the group with a process. Is that correct?
That's right. What I thought, rather than me just reading something out of the book, I've actually put together a process for the people who are listening.
Okay.
And perhaps they, if they get a benefit from this, will get their friends to watch the replay.
Okay. Yeah.
So we sort of spread the good news. But yeah, I've got that. We're all primed and ready to do that.
Yeah. Let's jump to that. I think people are going to. I think it's always great to talk about it, but then to have an experience with it. So
okay,
go ahead.
Right. Okay. I'm going to be reading this, and I'm going to be reading it as if I'm you.
Okay.
So when I and to the listener, so when I say I or me in this, it's actually talking on your behalf, because we're all one. We're all one. We can do this. So you can be a surrogate for someone else if you would prefer. First, we'll remove anything that would block you healing. I connect with the Creator, the source of all healing. I accept blessings for all of creation. My intention with this process is to allow healing and transformation into my life. I go into the past. My soul knows exactly when, to before the first time that an event or a decision by another person caused me to give up the freedom to make my own decisions. From that time and place, I make a new choice. I will follow the amazing path of my spiritual purpose. By changing my past, I change the potential of my life now. My choice for freedom of decision-making, now active in my life, allows me to receive healing and transformation, allows me to accept different pathways that help my journey through life, allows me to reach my full potential and complete my life contract. I am blessed and filled with gratitude. And now I'm going to offer you a process for treatment of your specific issue, whatever it is. I connect with the Creator, the source of all healing. While I have this connection, every word that I speak becomes a statement of my new reality. My healing blesses all of creation. My intention with this healing is for me to become the best possible version of myself. I know that the Creator can heal me. I know that my soul can heal me. I know that love heals me. I know that I am ready and willing to accept healing. I go into the past. My soul knows exactly when and where to locate the incident which was a trigger for me to have the healing issue that I am now experiencing. At that place and time, I make a different choice. I will not follow the path of hurt, illness, or any negative situation. Instead, I follow the amazing path of my spiritual purpose. This is a powerful choice for me to make here and now. It allows everything to change. Because my choice has removed the cause of my healing issue, I can now release all the negative effects easily and with grace. I know that I am ready and worthy to receive healing. I can feel the love and energy of my spiritual support team building up the healing energy, so that I know I am in the right place and state of belief to accept a miracle of healing. My heart is filled with gratitude. As I have spoken, so it is done.
Wow. Let's give people a little bit of time just to be with that. Yeah.
Please, yeah. There'll be a lot going on, so don't. If you've got time, let's just sort of sit with that for a moment, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Yeah. Let me check. Yeah. Let me check the chat box again. Let's see. Okay. Go up. Okay. 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 Let's see. I'm saying if there's specific stories, I'll go back. Okay. Let's go to Cindy Okroge. Ken, I'm awed by your humility. So exciting to get to hear you this morning. Amazing and incredible inspired work. Mark, thank you so much for the program. Wow. So
okay, thank you, Cindy.
Yeah, thank you. All right, let's go up. Let's see what else. From Stacy. Wow, thank you. That's powerful. Thank you.
Great. Glad you enjoyed it, Stacey.
Yeah.
Be well.
Yeah. Let's see. There's more. Let's see. Anyone else? Okay. Let me scroll down because maybe I missed something. Okay. Thank you for your stories. Let's see. This is a little bit tangential, but let's go ahead and take Jake. Ken, what direction would you suggest to further my my Usai Reiki and Crystal Reiki practices as to complement these modalities?
Well, I think following regeneration healing would be a great idea because it complements all of those things. I've had a lot of massage therapists do the training with me, and they use a regeneration healing process before their client arrives. And they said that the people are commenting, the massage is so much better. What did you do? So you set it up so people walk into a healing environment. When they're open to the idea, and so that's what I'd say. To answer that question, naturally, I'm going to think that regeneration healing would be a good thing to add to anyone's selection of modalities. That's my unbiased opinion.
I know, but it's very powerful and very all-encompassing because you touched on some, health things, but I know in the book, you have ways to clear the land, protocols, and much more, finances and the whole shebang.
Yeah, that's right. And can I tell you a couple of quick stories? Some people in Canada got in touch with me. They had a beautiful piece of land, but the man of the family had developed TB and wanted to go to Arizona for the dry climate. And they had tried for 2 years to sell their land in Canada and just couldn't sell it. And I'm really not quite sure how they found me, but they got in touch. So we did a process, and I spoke to the spirits of the land who manifested as really sort of bright-eyed children. And so I was saying to them that, look, these people need to sell the land. So what I would like you guys to do is to attract, and they're saying, but we don't want them to go. They're so nice to us. So I said, but look, think it through. You could attract a family with children. You could have people to play with.
Yeah.
Why don't we do that? Will you, if you'll do that, and I'll help them sell the land, and 2 weeks the land is sold.
Wow.
And so it's just that's the kind of the going back to our earlier conversation, believe the unbelievable. We can do that. I worked with a lady in Victoria, Australia, bought a piece of land. In fact, got it really cheaply because a drug gang had this farm, and the police took it off when the guys all went to jail. And the land was in a terrible state. And this lady wanted to have a place for sort of retired racehorses, rest and recuperation place for horses. And so we did a process for that. And a whole range of things happened in a really short space of time. The local Aboriginal people came to the farm to ask, could they, there was a tree that it was sort of a wisdom tree for them, that this drug gang wouldn't allow them onto the property. And this lady said, of course, come here. And that helped with the result. But within a month, the whole, the atmosphere on the farm had changed, but the quality of the grass, so there's enough grass to feed the horses so that she could get more horses onto the property. So all of those things, I mean, it's the same principle. You go back, you change what has happened, allow your new decision to come into play, see the change. You can do the same with the weather. You can develop a relationship with the weather. I go for a walk most mornings, and I talk to the wind. And you can do it if I'm lucky. I live in an estate, so I don't have to do gardening outside. Not in the front garden. And you've gone again. Are you still there?
Oh yeah, I'm there. I can see you.
Right. Okay. Just. Oh yeah. There we go.
Okay.
I didn't.
Good.
And so you can talk to the. If you have to rake up leaves, you actually can talk to the wind, so it doesn't scatter them back all over the garden. Develop that kind of relationship, and the wind is the key to it. If you want it to rain, you're relying on the wind to bring the cloud people and the thunder nation. So if you've got a relationship with the wind, then you can ask, would you please bring the clouds? Now, if you know that the sort of clouds 2 states away, don't ask them to bring rain by this afternoon, because it means you're generating a cyclone or hurricane, whatever, for it to your intention to be manifested. So you be thoughtful with it. But you can ask for the rain. You can. I'm not sure what you call them. We call them cyclones.
Tornadoes.
Tornadoes. Yeah.
Tornadoes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They start over the ocean, and their function in life is to put energy into the ocean.
Oh, those would be hurricanes, maybe.
Hurricanes. Yeah. So, and we attract them on shore, because you hear there's a hurricane out there off the coast. You're wondering, where will it hit? And people are putting, and energy flows where your attention goes, or whatever. And we attract it. We're saying, where will it land? Will it come on land here by my house? And we attract it, and it doesn't want to come on land at all. If we left it alone, it would stay over the ocean, because that's what its role is: put energy into the ocean. So we can help. We've with a group, we've got hurricanes to change direction so that they didn't come to a particular place. So all of those things. If you're open to the idea about, you're prepared to believe, that can happen. And
Yeah.
it just becomes a wonderful way to live because you're in harmony with what's going on around you. And I have it because it's people and pets. I do have a couple of animal healing stories to tell you.
Okay. Yeah. Let me just check the chat box with what you said about the weather, and then please, I do want to hear the animal. Definitely.
Yeah.
Let's see. We'll show Anjali, I believe, Thomas. Let's see. Thank you, Ken. Wonderful voice, so healing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice to talk to you again, Anjali. We met in Vancouver, or
cool.
Nanaimo, actually, at a workshop we did there.
Let's see. We have a comment from Georgia. Thank you so much. My dog and I both enjoyed that. The energy is flowing through all our cells.
Great. That's good.
Yeah. Cool.
And animals really respond well to healing.
Yeah. Go ahead and tell your animal story, and then I'll go back to the comments. Please do.
Okay. A lady got in touch with me about a dog. The dog's name is Shiloh, and his back legs were paralyzed. And we did a remote process for him, and the next day he was swimming in the dam on the farm.
Whoa.
And another lady got in touch with me. Her horse had a impacted bowel. So it couldn't get rid of the waste. And they had it with the vet. And the vet who was working with this horse was taking the weekend off, and he had a locum coming in. And so they had dug a hole. They were going to put this horse down on the Monday. So they'd got someone to dig a hole. The vet said, look, just sort of monitor the situation. I'll put that horse down on Monday. And so we did the lady got in touch and said, yeah, it's really drastic. Is there anything that you could possibly do? And I said, well, okay, let's do a process. Let's do this. So the Saturday went by. On the Sunday, the locum phoned the vet at home and said, you need to come in. And he said, look, no, it's my weekend off. No, you're there. You need to come in. The locum says, you've got to see this. And when the vet came in, there was a pile of horse poo about 2'6", 3 feet high. Whoa. And the horse is trotting around the farm, and the horse lived another 2 years.
Yeah. Wow. Incredible.
And just one quick cat story, because cats. A lady in Austria got in touch with me through someone else, and she was having a lot of behavior issues with the cat, which I understand isn't that unusual. And so I spoke with the cat, and I found you can do that and just introduce yourself and say, I'm trying to help you. Let's talk about this. And the cat said they were calling this cat Pussy. And the cat was saying, I hate that name. I want to be called Princess.
Oh.
I thought, why not? The Egyptians used to worship you, and you've never forgotten that. So I told the people, this is what your cat says, and they started calling her Princess from that day, and her behavior moderated straight away.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's very cool. That's funny because here in the Chicago, actually a lot of people have been posting online that they're going to have like a telesummit just for cats. And just here in Chicago in July, there's going to be a cat convention just for focus on cats. So there's something in the air about focusing on cats, and people love their cats. So let me go back to the thing. We have Jake just saying from earlier, humble, thank you. After witnessing what just happened, I trust your direction. Namaste.
Great. Thank you, Jake. Thank you.
Let's scroll up. We have more. Let's see. Okay. We'll go to Lori. Wow, so grateful I'm here today to receive this powerful healing. I so needed this for my health. Thank you.
Great. Well, come back for the replay as well, then, and get double the benefits.
Yeah, let's see. Look, I'm going to scroll up a little bit more because there were some really recent. Let's see. Okay, from Judy Huffman. I recommend all people get both of Ken's books. You'll be glad you did. And again, for what they are, no, I mean, they're a very modest investment, very modest, and they are very, very powerful. So I second that. Thank you. All right, let's see. Go a little bit up. Okay, yeah, someone else saying, okay. Oh, okay, someone with doing animal healings. Let's do this. I perform animal healings and communication as well and have saved many dogs and small animals. How do you perform your healings for animals? Okay, I think he's kind of answered that a little bit. And there's more information in the books, I believe, right?
Yeah, there's a process for animal healing in the handbook. Yeah. But otherwise, I just to quickly answer Janessa. I dog animals, horses, dogs, cats. I treat them as if they're humans. I talk to them in the same way. The healing is always done remotely. People don't bring them to me, but so I do it remotely and treat them as if they're human. In the way that I talk to them, the way I do a healing process for them, exactly the same.
Okay, very good.
And I just would add to that. Often, dogs particularly will take on an illness as a sacrifice so that their owner or their human doesn't have to. And I'm just helping a lady, veterinary surgeon in the States with a dog now that just to make sure that the dog hasn't taken on a kidney ailment so that the owner doesn't have to. But it's an issue, and I'm sure you find that, Mark,
too.
Yeah,
I see that. I got a call about this woman that has 3 dogs, and they've all within 2 years gotten cancer, all of them.
Yeah.
So I also said, check the land, geopathic stress too, and then you just see what's there when you go into the field.
But also check. Dogs sense cancer when it's developing. Check that no one in the family has got cancer.
Excellent. Thank you. So we're going to wrap up our time together. So first of all, Ken, share out your information. What's the best way for people to reach you? Through Facebook or your website? Or please share that information.
Yeah, Facebook is good. I've got a page in my personal name, and the regeneration group. You ask and you have to be approved for that. I mean, it's most people are automatically approved, but just it's a bit messy if you want to get in touch urgently. My email is ken.healer@gmail.com.
Okay.
And my website is Regeneration Healing, all one word, regenerationhealing.net. And there's a contact form on that you can get in touch. But anyway, please don't hesitate if you've got questions. But you want to talk about healing, you want to receive healing, you want to just ask things, or you want to say nice stuff, whatever it is. Feel free to get in touch.
Excellent. Well, Ken, thank you so much for being with us. There was a lot of valuable information. The comments are still coming in. Just real quick. Let's see. One last one from Georgia. Mine tried to take my cancer, and I told him he could not have it. Got his tumor removed, and he was good. And it's been there for me throughout all my treatments and recovery.
Yeah, they're just wonderful companions, Georgia, aren't they? And the fact that they're happy to take on this sacrifice, take your cancer so you don't have to. That's the best kind of friendship, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Ken, for being with us on the People and Pets Show. Keep the comments coming in. Make sure you love, like, and share. I know this is getting a lot of shares because there's a lot of great stuff in here, and it's a very comprehensive, very flexible modality. It's customizable, and so thank you very much, Ken.
No, thank you for inviting me, and thank you for sharing your friends with me. It's been great, and let's hope that the people that need healing will watch the replay, and so we help more people.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, thank you all for being here on the People and Pets Show today. We go live every Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. We'll bring on leading edge guests in the areas of holistic health and wellness for people, animals, and spaces. And as you can tell, Ken's work encompasses all that and much more. So very grateful to have him. Next week, our guest will be Amalie. She is based in the Appalachian Mountains of Southern Ohio. She's worked for over 35 years with wildlife rescues like hawks and eagles and much more, and has this really cool tool called the Song Pods. You'll learn more next week. So tune in next week. Be sure to like, love, and share. And if there's anything I can do with you for you, please get in touch with me. Through my Facebook page, People and Pets Energetics, or my website, peopleandpetsenergetics.com. Again, thank you everyone for being here. Please share, love, like in this episode, and we'll hope to see you next week on the People and Pets Show. Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.